The George Floyd case has finally been completed. Derek Chauvin found guilty on all charges. Justice was finally served. I'll give you my take on it coming up on What's Your Opinion.
Members of the jury, I will now read the verdicts as they will appear in the permanent records of the 4th Judicial District. State of Minnesota, County of Hennepin, District Court, 4th Judicial District. State of Minnesota Plaintiff versus Derek Michael Chauvin, Defendant. Verdict, Count 1. Court File Number 27, CR 20-12646. We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to Count 1, unintentional second-degree murder while committing a felony, find the defendant guilty. This verdict agreed to this 20th day of April 2021 at 1:44 p.m. Signed, juror foreperson, juror number 19. Same caption, verdict count 2. We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to count 2, third-degree murder, perpetrating an eminently dangerous act, find the defendant guilty. This verdict agreed to this 20th day of April 2021 at 1:45 p.m. Signed by jury foreperson, juror number 19. Same caption, verdict count 3. We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to count 3, second-degree manslaughter, culpable negligence, creating an unreasonable risk, find the defendant guilty. This verdict agreed to this 20th day of April 2021 at 1:45 p.m. Jury foreperson 019.
There you have it. I want to tell you this. Since I was a kid, I've loved law enforcement. I knew when I was a kid, when I grew up, I wanted to wear the uniform and I wanted to be in law enforcement. And one of the happiest days of my life was when I got to do it. And I did it so proudly. And I feel like it was an honor to be a part of that. The people that I served next, and even the people that I served. It wasn't always about the people that I arrested, just the people that I've helped for the most simplest things. That meant the most to me. I love the job for what the job should have been. And are there bad apples? There's bad apples in every circle of life. Nobody's perfect. We're human. But I look at the people in uniform as my brothers and my sisters. And I'm not ashamed. I am pro-cop. I can be objective with my criticisms, but in here, I'm pro-cop all the way. When I first saw this story, and I haven't made a video on it, but I was so deeply and personally offended by the video that we saw, and I'm not going to show it. Because this man, Derek Chauvin, disgraced the profession. He disgraced the uniform of every police officer in this country and around the world. I haven't heard of any cops standing up to come to his defense. If there were few and far between. I don't know about them. But as a police officer, there's no way you could justify, condone. This is no blue wall of silence. This is nothing. This was a human being. George Floyd was not struggling. He was not resisting. This person in broad daylight stood on his neck for 9 minutes plus till he died. We've had incidences with the police. I get it. This was one of the most egregious acts I've ever seen in my entire life. I was disgusted. I was embarrassed. And we're not getting into, whatever his history was, George Floyd's. I don't care if you were bankrupt, whatever. That's a human being. And I'm going to tell you something, as a police officer, they say we're held to a higher standard. You damn right we are. You're supposed to be better than the element that you fight against, despite what your personal feelings as a human being. Because before you put that uniform on, before you put a badge on and you strap up, you're a human being first. And I don't know how long this guy's been on. I'm not sure he's been on for a while. Somewhere along the line, he lost that. And this should be a lesson to any police officer. Just remember, the badge that you wear is not a right. It is a privilege. And it's a privilege that should not be abused. Your job is to preserve life, not to take it first. In such a blatant, unjustifiable way. It sickened me. I didn't want to talk about this until this trial was over. It absolutely sickened me. And I'm going to tell you this. Nobody's above the law. That badge you wear is a two-edged sword. It could be here today and gone tomorrow. You are simply one bad decision away from becoming the criminals that you so-called took an oath to fight against. There is no justification for this. And I didn't see any fathomable way where a jury could find this guy not guilty. Now, they had the National Guard out there. I get it. Just in case. I knew it in my heart. This man deserves to spend the rest of his life in prison. And when the sentencing day come, I will be talking about this again. But I'm going to tell you my honest opinion here, that he does not represent the police. Some of the things you see on the news that's going on, especially as of late, I can't even keep up with them. That does not represent the police. That's not the job that I love. But what people also got to understand is too, you yourself have to take some accountability. You can't just blame every shooting, every injury on the police. Because I've watched these videos objectively. And people go out of their way to do whatever they can to get themselves shot or hurt or injured, just so they could be a martyr and have their family blame the police. You too have to take accountability, just like Derek Chauvin did. He had to be held accountable. The must. There's two sides to the coin, as I like to say. Can't just have it your way. It's not cop bad, you're right all the time. Because I've seen plenty of videos where you're literally antagonizing a police officer. You're going out of your way to get the police officer's attention. This is the climate that we live in. This is not okay. I don't care what settlement the Floyd family got, or if Reverend Al showed up to get a check like he always does. No amount of money is going to replace their son, their uncle, their brother. No amount of money is going to replace George Floyd. And I think that we all need to just take a moment sometime to just try to get back in touch with our humanity. We're all different. We come from different walks of life, but we're all human. Nobody deserves to be killed and murdered the way that George Floyd was. This was a clear-cut act of malice. And it is not acceptable to be, as a civilian, let alone a uniformed police officer. And for all the cop haters out there, this is not the police. This is not the police. And I say, when you hear incidences with the police, you have to take it on a case-by-case basis. I see, and I read a lot of the comments, and people are talking, everything is race, everything is color. If a police officer is white and a person, for example, is African American that was shot by the police, immediately the narrative is to convict the police officer because it had to be racist. And I implore everybody who watches this channel, watches my videos, and know that I'm objective. Take it on a case-by-case basis. Stop being perpetrators of the racism that you complain about. That narrative I just explained to you, that doesn't make it racist. That doesn't make the cop wrong. Take it on a case-by-case basis. Get the facts. just like we had the facts in this case. I'm going to be showing you more videos coming up. We're going to have other discussions on other episodes. And I, again, implore everybody, just take it on a case by case. Find your humanity. Because those men and women that put that uniform on, they're human beings just like you. They are perfectly imperfect. They make mistakes. Everybody that's been arrested is not a criminal. People make mistakes. When you swear and you take an oath to do that job, you must keep that in here. Every person that you arrest and put in handcuffs is not a criminal. They're not animals. Think about if that was your mother, that was your brother, your sister, or whoever. Would you want them to be treated that way? As a police officer, that's how you want. You have to treat people as you want yourself and your family to be treated. This going outside of policy is inexcusable. And it cannot be tolerated in this country anymore. For all the bad cops out there, I got no respect for you. None. You're not above the law. You're not better than anybody. You're there to do a job, and you should do it. That badge does not give you immunity, doesn't allow you to go carte blanche and do whatever you want. Honor it and respect it as it was intended to be. Because I'm going to tell you, to serve as a police officer is an honor and is a privilege. Even now, I look at it and I say, that was some of the best years of my life. And I hope that we can move forward in this country and let this be an example to anybody, any officer who thinks about stepping out and doing their own thing. We have to set a precedence now that there's going to be severe and swift consequences. Let me know in the comments what you think. And just hit that like button. I'd appreciate it. Subscribe, turn on notifications so you don't miss a video. I will definitely look forward to seeing you on the next episode of What's Your Opinion?